What is happening, guys? MLB Wednesday, August 5th. We got two medium to smallish slates today, a 5-game early guy and a 6-game main slate. So you got me solo for this early slate. Should be short and sweet here. Just going to do one video for everyone. And let's dive in. Screen share this. Should be good to go. So pitching options are pretty cut and dry here. Aaron Nola is the best pitcher on the slate by a good amount. He has not been good on the road, though, and this is not like a just this year theme. This is something that's been happening with him for a while now. He's much better at home. I wish he were at home here. I don't love Nola in this spot, and if it were a bigger slate, I might go elsewhere. On this one, though, it's difficult because, like, where are you going? And we got to roster two of these guys. Alex Wood in a good spot against Arizona. Arizona's been feistier lately. Gausman shut them down, but outside of that, they had been playing a little bit better ball. You know, aside from that start against the Houston and a couple starts ago against the Dodgers, Wood has been really good. So I think he's definitely in play on the short list here. Much better spot for him. Not excited about spending 9.6 on him, but he's for sure on the short list, like no doubt for me. Next, we have Joe Ross. So this is an interesting one. I think this is kind of a GPP boom or bust call. We've seen him with upside a bunch. He wasn't great his last time out. He was decent against Philly the start before that. Now he gets the same Philly team at home. Phillies do look good offensively. So I think you can make the case for Ross. I also think you can make the case for Phillies bats. In cash games, I'd probably just stay away from both sides. Merrill Kelly, he's been solid, man. Like, I know he wasn't great against the Dodgers, but that's the Dodgers. He was really good in the two starts before that against the Cubs, faced the Dodgers before that. Wasn't good against the Rockies, but was really good against the Giants and Padres and Brewers. This is another one. I could really see using Merrill Kelly here. I could also see stacking the Giants bats, especially if they're not getting as much love as they deserve with, Coors in such a good spot. So another one. I see both sides of this one in tournaments. In cash games, probably just stay away. Cash games, I think you're spending up a pitcher for sure. Or I see Bundy getting some love, but I'm not really feeling that. We'll get there. Tariq Skubal. Skubal's a guy that can strike a lot of guys out. He can also give up plenty of home runs. This is not the spot for me to use Skubal, in my opinion. Boston is never a matchup I like picking. A never team I like picking on. They got tons of power from the right side. They don't strike out a lot. Boston might be my favorite stack on the board. And I respect Skubal as a pitcher. This is just an awful spot for him. Senzatella. Look, I think Senzatella might be a little bit better than the masses want to give him credit for. He's not good. That's for damn sure. He's coming back. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is like with his arm and stuff following the shutdown. The thing about Senzatella that gets me intrigued is that the Cubs are going to be really popular, so it definitely gives you some leverage there. In tournaments, he's in play. I think the same thing about Martin Perez. This slate is full of that. He has not been great lately, and it's never a guy I'm excited to use. I don't know if I've used him once this year, but facing Detroit, a Detroit team that probably gets some love at, 6,700? I mean, I probably don't use him. I like Senzatella more, but you got to think outside the box on slates like this. It's a must in tournaments. Man, Arrieta, can't do it. Just can't do it. Not that I think we need to force in Rockies bats in tournaments because they're going to be the most popular offense on the slate. But, man, it is damn hard to want to use Arrieta. He has not been good. Rockies are good at home. He's so cheap, but, man, I don't think that's for me. And then last but not least, Spencer Howard. We don't know what his workload is going to be. He wasn't even great for the Phillies. I know he was one of the Phillies' better prospects, but not really interested in him here. If I'm spending down, I think it's Senzatella, who I forgot. Bundy. He's picking up ownership here. I don't believe it though. He threw 72 pitches. Texas sucks. what it is. Bundy can get hit by anyone. The game log is certainly not impressive, but he's got some good starts this year, and Texas is maybe the best matchup in baseball right now, aside from Colorado when they're away from Coors. So I don't think he's going to get the ownership that he's projected for as of now. Right now, he's projected to be the second highest on pitcher on the slate outside of Nola. It looks like Nola Bundy is going to be the chalky pairing, then Woodruff, then Skubal. I don't like pitching on the slate. I think you kind of just got to survive and advance it, not looking for any of these guys to kind of break the slate. And as much as I don't like Nola on the road, like, what are my other options? So looking at him for sure here. Wood also, Kelly, Ross. I don't like Skubal, but I get why he's in play. And then Bundy, Senzatella. So let's look at some offenses and see where we want to go. So I know Boston's lineup's already out, which is nice. Both these lineups are. Boston's just definitely in play for me. I mean, a full lineup, full of guys that cross left-handed pitching. JD Martinez homered yesterday. Kike has been awesome. So he's a guy I'm for sure interested in. A big game last night. I like this whole lineup. Verdugo got going with a couple hits. I know Marwin's in there. He's cheap. He's 2K. He's hitting ninth. He won't get any love. Don't really think you need the salary. But if I'm stacking the lineup, I want exposure to all these guys. Yeah. Renfro, he's been decent lately. Yeah. I like this whole lineup. I think they probably go a little bit under-owned with the Rockies and Cubs just standing out so much. As far as the excuse me. As far as the Tigers go, let me look up some BEP quickly. So, I mean, nothing like special here, but you got, Haas hitting cleanup. Not that there's PvP there, but Jonathan Scope hitting second. He's only 4 of 15. Miggy's 4 of 10. I mean, there's just average numbers all over, but nothing I'm going out of my way to use or nothing I'm scared to pick on for sure. So, yeah, this game has offensive upside for sure. I like the Boston side definitely more. I mean, I haven't been playing Detroit. I doubt I play Detroit today. They have been pretty good over the past month, though, so I get why anyone likes them. I don't think it's crazy at all. Angels and Rangers, so we've got Howard against Bundy. Wonder how much love these teams get. The Angels are certainly intriguing here against Howard, who, like I said, has not been good. Now going to face an Angels team with a DH, a pretty good DH at that, and Shohei Ohtani. The Angels lineup is awful right now, but they do have, I mentioned Ohtani, obviously one of the best hitters, if not the best hitter on the slate. Brandon Marsh, one of their better prospects. I've talked about Joe Adell a ton. Didn't do anything last night, but the Angels didn't do much offensively. So I like this whole lineup as a stack. Obviously, Ohtani's going to be the best piece, and we'll just have to wait and see what their lineup looks like. Now we get to the obvious chalk game: Cubs and Rockies. Senzatella against Arrieta. I mean, I think you want as much exposure to this game in cash games as you can get. Let's look at some ownership real quick. All right, sorry about that, guys. Just taking a minute to load. So, yeah, I mean, these guys are projected to be highly owned all over for obvious reasons. Ryan McMahon, Trevor Story, Brendan Rodgers, the 3 highest owned hitters on the slate. That's what's expected. Rodgers has been awesome. I've been talking about Rodgers for a couple weeks now. He's really kind of coming into his own. McMahon, just so much upside at this price point. Trevor Story, same deal. I mean, these guys are going to be uber chalk. Hard to get away from them. I'm not someone that plays a ton of cores, so I probably won't go here, especially on a slate like this, because baseball will baseball. But, man, it's difficult, because these pitchers are not good, especially Arrieta. So, whole Rockies lineup. Tapia, I've always been a fan of Tapia. He's seeing the ball well. Charlie Blackmon, much more solid than spectacular. But, yeah, maybe get a little bit of a funky lineup today, day game after a night game. Sam Hilliard's been good. Diaz has been really good. So another one. We'll have to wait and see on the Rockies lineup. But this is the top stack on paper and the team you want most in cash games for sure. Like, not even a question. And then on the other side, you want a lot of Cubs too. I mean, these guys are in really good spots. Wilson Contreras, assuming he's in the lineup. Rafael Ortega. Contreras, one of the best hitting catchers in baseball. David Bodie, cog in the machine type. Rafael Ortega, I mean, we all know he had that monster game a couple days ago. Leading off of 3K, yeah, he deserves to get a lot of love, and he will. So in cash games, I think you know what to do. And it's a risky fade in tournaments. I mean, it's hard to get away from these guys. These pitchers are not good. If I use a Senzatella, I'm fully aware that my day could be over after, at 3:20 because the Cubs just go off on him in the first inning. That said, the Cubs lineup sucks right now. Senzatella is better than the masses want to give him credit for, and they are going to be chalky. So there's some interest from me in going there in tournaments. All right, D-backs and Giants. So Alex Wood against Merrill Kelly. As good as Kelly's been recently, not like he's been amazing, but he's been pretty good. I do have some interest in the Giants. Interested to see what their lineup looks like. Yeah, there's no way he's going to play today unless, it was just really precautionary. Can't see him playing. Just can't see it. So that lineup takes a hit for sure. Not necessarily sure I want to stack, like all out stack the Giants, but I could definitely see using pieces for sure. Their lineup is, weaker if they don't have Chris Bryant looks like one of the better spend up bats on the slate if you want to get there. All in all, though, depending on that lineup, I could easily see myself using Merrill Kelly. And as far as the Arizona bats go, I'm not the biggest Alex Wood fan in the world, but on this slate, I think he's good enough where we don't really want to pick on him. I imagine he gets some love. So if you want to use a couple Arizona bats, go nuts. I like other spots more, though. Ketel Marte's hella cheap. So they got really cheap pieces, and if you're not using Wood, I could see filling in. Last but not least, we got Philly and Washington. So this is an interesting one. Nola hasn't been great on the road, but he's not a guy that gets up a ton of power or he gets shelled a lot. He did get kind of shelled in New York in Yankee Stadium. Washington's lineup is butt right now, though, so Nola's the top pitcher on the slate, despite not being at home. And then Ross versus the Phillies is interesting. I could see the Phillies really getting to Ross. They're back healthy-ish. Hoskins is back. Harper looks good. Harper is in a real nice stretch right now, so a lot to like about Bryce Harper for sure. Rhys Hoskins got going last night. Ross has been good at times this year, but also gotten hit hard at other times. Segura's 9-18 off him. Rio Muno's 8-19. He'll be right back in the lineup. I think the Phillies are a sneaky stack here. I think that people that don't use cores are going to automatically go to like Boston. And again, I think Boston's lower owned because of cores, but I do think that outside of cores, they're probably one of the most high-owned offenses, one of the highest-owned offenses. Philly won't be. Not that I think Ross gets hella love, and I think Ross is definitely in play also, but Philly's just not going to get a lot of love in this spot. They're expensive, and people are going to go elsewhere. So that's intriguing, if nothing else. So I love slates like this, kind of a wide-open slate. Mixed feelings about a lot of spots, and that's okay. That's baseball. You get that a lot. Kind of just got to plant your flag and go with what you like. So I'm excited about this one. Got a main slate 6-gamer that will be out with some content this afternoon. Hopefully Ryan's able to get on with me. If not, you got me solo. But I'm going to get off here so I can get the write-up done. And if you want more content, more videos, more anything, go check out the DFS5pack.com. And thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it always.